What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Project, and welcome to the first ever episode of Project Reviews. In this series, what I'm going to do is anything related to motorcycle riding, whether it be gear like this helmet here, or accessories for motorcycles and things like that. I'm going to do reviews on here in this series, so that you guys can actually see what my thoughts are from a first initial view of the products to a prolonged use view of the products. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and do this first episode, and the first episode is going to be on this new helmet that I just picked up a few weeks ago, and we're going to get this thing started. Okay guys, so like I said, this is the helmet that I picked up a few weeks ago. This is the AGV K5 S Inlace helmet. I picked this helmet up from Revzilla.com for roughly $2.99, I think is what the price was. So it's one of the AGV's lower end helmets, but I like the way it looked. I like the color scheme, so it was real nice. I've already kind of put a few of my own personal touches on it, as you can see back here. Put a couple stickers here on the back. And you can see over here I've got my Center Bluetooth 20S, and you can see right here this is my GoPro mount. This is a prolonged use video for this particular product because I didn't plan on doing this series at the time that I bought this helmet, so that's why you're kind of not going to get an initial view on this particular product. But I will tell you my initial thoughts when I first got the helmet. It's got a real sleek look to it. I love the almost racing-esque style with the aerodynamics of the helmet. Really, it's got a really sleek, cool look to it. I'm a real big fan of the color scheme with the charcoal gray and the matte black or satin black. The finish actually on the whole helmet is satin, and I really like it. I'm not too big on the wild looking helmets. I haven't found one yet that really sticks out to me, but this one's kind of a basic scheme, but I like it. So we're going to go ahead and get into the nitty gritty of what this helmet actually consists of. The external shell of this helmet is a 2-layer carbon fiberglass shell. So it gives you a nice hard outer shell protection along with some of the interior padding that we'll get into later. Ventilation, you're going to see 2 front air vents up here on the top as well as down at the mouth, and you're going to have one across the top here that you can just push back and close back. And then the one that goes across the top that you push back, if you look back here on this central front vent, it has a direct airflow channel that goes through this and comes back out the rear cowl that you can open and close with a open and close button. It's real easy to slide back and forth, and you can close it back. It gives you a nice airflow on those real hot days, especially if you're riding around in the south, like I do, where it gets really, really hot and humid. So to go in with the rear spoiler, it's actually integrated into the entire helmet. It's not a plastic piece that's molded onto it. It's actually a solid piece of the outer shell. So that's less things that can eventually wear and tear, break, whatever. If you go down and the back takes a hit, it doesn't break off. But in most cases, if you go down and your helmet takes a hit, you're going to want to replace it anyway. So going on into the inside, you can see right here is a neck roll padding that is integrated into your earpiece padding as well, and your cheek pads. And what this is made out of is I'm probably going to butcher this, but this is a Shalimar fabric, which is a water resistant fabric that prevents water from channeling inside the helmet. As you're riding, you don't want the water to channel down this side piece and into the helmet. So this piece right here kind of prevents that. Another nice little touch they have here, you can see these pieces here. This is actually a reflective stripe right here. So if it's late at night and you're in a more of an aggressive stance, you have the possibility of maybe somebody seeing a little bit of this reflective material, or at night if it's dark out and you're looking for your helmet, you can see this reflective material. Going into the cheek pads, you're going to see a Ritmo fabric with sanitized antibacterial treated 2-dry moisturizing wick, microsense treated padding. It's a lot of crazy phonetic stuff. What I can really say is the padding in this thing is really soft. It's really snug compared to my other Icon helmet. Not to knock Icon, I really love that helmet as well, but this thing has a lot more comfort to the padding. To be AGV's lower end style of helmet. So the crown pad is also made of the Shalimar fabric, sanitized, antibacterial, all that good stuff. The interior of this helmet is really, really well made. You can pull everything out and it's washable, and you can easily just push it right back in. It snaps in with plastic clips and you're good to go. We're going to go ahead and go to the front here. Open this visor up. You can see here the nose guard. This is a removable nose guard slash wind protector, I guess you could say, against your face. I think that's really neat. Sometimes people don't like the nose guards, so they can just pop them out, put them back in, whatever have you. I think that's a nice little touch that AGV has, especially with this being, again, one of their lower end helmets, and really, really nice to have small touches like that on AGV's lower end helmets. We're going to go into this face shield here. This face shield is a scratch resistant, not scratch proof, but scratch resistant anti-fog polycarbonate with 100% UV protection. So you're going to get that protection against fading. You're not going to have a film that kind of starts cracking over time, stuff like that. I really like this face shield here. It is very light. It's not bulky. You can still feel the clicks and things like that at the different settings. That's all the way up, midways, a little bit further, and then all the way down. And you can hear that nice slam to know. It lets you know that it's closed all the way. The face shield does have AGV's pin lock system here and here, so that you can put the protective vinyl, I guess you could say, peel-aways on there, and very easy to install. I personally haven't used those. It's not the thing that I really have seen a need to do. Moving on into the visor micro opening system. What that is there is a actual tab. If you can hear that, there's a small tab down here that is in the front mouth guard of the helmet. So if you have it pushed down and your visor is up, you don't want to go through it having, like, while you're going down the road and you don't want to pick your visor all the way up. You simply just push this tab up and it pops your helmet just a little bit, just to get a little bit of airflow on those hot days, or if your visor is starting to fog up for whatever reason. You can just crack that open and it gives you a nice little airflow to get that fog out of there, and then if you push it down again, it brings the visor down with it. This helmet is DOT approved, so you do get that drop down visor. I've got the smoke lens that comes in the helmet. They do have multiple different colors. I plan on probably eventually getting a different color lens. Again, it's the scratch resistant material, polycarbonate, all that good stuff, I believe, and it is very, very easy to push down and push back up. I thought that this was going to be a kind of a weird feeling because I've never had a helmet with that on there, but I really like it. It's a nice little touch, and it kind of gives you that cool fighter pilot feel. You know what I mean? Bam. Boom. Bam. Okay, I can sit there and do that all day. Sorry, squirrel moment. Anyway, moving on. If you look down here, you've got the double D chin strap. You slide it through, buckle it in, just like all the others. You got a little red tab for emergency services personnel to easily pull your helmet undone. And that's kind of a wide spectrum of the entire helmet in its entirety as far as the build goes. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to go over my long-term impressions of this helmet since I've been using it. I've been using it for roughly 2.5, maybe 3 weeks now. Still very, very happy with the way this helmet fits. I love the chin guard that's in here. It butts right up under your chin, gives you a nice comfort feeling. It doesn't like impede on anything. It doesn't get pushed up into your face or anything like that. Where I've heard that is sometimes the case with some helmets. This neck roll here has that extra protection that gets the helmet nice and snug up to your neck, so there's no movement or anything like that. The helmet is extremely lightweight. Even with all my gear on, it is extremely lightweight. I don't have the specifics on how much it weighs, but it is very, very light compared to my Icon. The padding on the inside, even with my Bluetooth speakers in the ears and my microphone for my GoPro camera and things like that, the padding doesn't compress on your head as much. It still has space in between the padding and the helmet shell itself, to where you have the ability to put these things in if you so choose to. And that's a really nice thing that I have seen. There was actually, in the sides, there are actually notches put in there for Bluetooth speakers almost. I don't know if AGV really did that on purpose, if that was an intentional thing, but they work perfect with my Sena speakers that go within the inside of the helmet. And it works extremely well. I was very, very pleased with that. I'm so pleased with this helmet. I will say this, if you're buying this for a motovlogger's helmet, I will say this, it is a little tricky. It's not impossible, but it is a little bit tricky. You have to do some finagling with a bunch of parts to get your GoPro mounted to where you can get a nice flush look. Because it does have these streak line, sharp angles right here that go straight down to get that better aerodynamics, so that the air really cuts around this helmet really nicely. But it's not the best for GoPro, so you kind of have to finagle with attachments here and there to get your ideal position going. So that's one downfall to the helmet. Other than that, I really don't have any complaints as of yet with this helmet, other than even with the visor closed and the front micro opening system pushed down, you still have wind coming in from somewhere. I have yet to find out where it's coming from, but there is some wind that you can hear blowing through, even with all the vents closed. And it's not wind that you hear externally, it's actually a whistling sound that you can hear inside the helmet. So there is one of the vents that's open even though they're not. That's the biggest downfall from a motovlogger's standpoint. Other than that, it's an extremely good helmet. I would recommend you to pick up the K5 S Inlace or just the K5 S style helmet altogether. The Inlace is the actual paint scheme, I believe, on this helmet. So there are different styles of this helmet as far as cosmetic looks go. But overall, the K5S system as a whole, made by AGV, is very, very well put together, and I'm very happy with it. With that all being said, I hope you enjoyed this video. This is a new series we're starting. I'm pretty excited about it. Look for these, not weekly, but I would say at least monthly. Just starting out, and as things progress, we may start doing them more and more. But as of right now, we're going to probably do them once a month or as things come along. So with all that being said, I hope you enjoyed it. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think about this new series, what you think about the helmet. And a link will be in the description to Revzilla's website where you can check these helmets out, see if you find a style that you like. I would recommend picking them up. It's a great helmet. So remember, always be kind to one another, and until next time, peace.